Hey guys, what's up? JDB Sports here back after this wild card weekend. How y'all doing today? I'm doing pretty good. How about you, Peyton? How's it going?
What a wild one indeed. Just happy to be here. Special Thursday night stream again because, again, want you guys to catch all the playoffs, want us to catch all the action as well. So let's just jump into it.
Yeah, I guess we can jump in. Let's go ahead. Texans Chargers first game. Let's peel the band-aid off. Let's get it out the way. What you got going on?
All right. As a Chargers fan, this one hurt. It wasn't really expected because I wanted this matchup over the Ravens for weeks. And I mean, Chargers fell flat on their face. Bad coaching, bad quarterback play. Justin Herbert plays his worst football game, college or pros yet, in my opinion. And man, the only two good games we had on offense were for Lad McConkey going for about 200 yards and Rashawn Slater holding down the left side of the line. But just a demoralizing defeat at the end of the day. A couple picks went off a couple of our receivers' hands, but no excuses. Texans took full advantage.
Yeah, we got a couple pick sixes there. I think two of them went for it. Chargers offense only averaged 2.8 yards per rush, looking at 242 yards only in general. Texans defense was, they decimated Herbert. I hate to say it. I did not see this coming. D'Amico Ryan's squad really got to it. But
Yeah.
CJ Stroud threw for 282 and a touchdown. Joe Mixon ran for 106 and a score. Looked really convincing doing it. Don't know if they go into KC and do damage, but we'll see. Brandon Chandler, thanks for the live. Call of Duty nerd, thanks. What's up? How you doing? Good to see you. A couple guys from the trap page, enjoy and sit back and enjoy. I hope you guys like this one. We have a special slideshow coming for y'all through when we talk about the Monday night game. But anyways, not really much to say other than what you focused on about the Chargers. Let's say a career worst game for Herbert. 4 picks, no touchdowns. Well, no, he had one, right? One, I believe. So
No, he did have one towards the end of the game, more of a garbage time touchdown of sorts, but
yeah. Other than let's not harp on it too much. Chargers, they'll come back better than next year. Hopefully everything comes back and they get a number 2 wide receiver and get some better DBs on the back end.
yeah, that's for damn sure.
So we'll go ahead and hit through Steelers Ravens. Honestly, kind of to be expected. The Ravens' rushing attack was unstoppable. They could not stop Derrick Henry in the beginning of the game, or the first half, really. 186 yards and 2 tutties on the ground, and I think Lamar Jackson also contributed with 81 yards and a touchdown. They led 21-0 by halftime. Jackson throwing a 15-yard touchdown pass to Rashad Bateman, and Henry getting a 6-yard run. But you want to talk about the third and fourth quarters on that game, man? You want to see want to give us a heads up on what happened?
There wasn't much else. Once the Pittsburgh Steelers were down 21-0, you just felt the demoralization in the team's offense, kind of lack of effort from people out there. Managed to turn around it a little in the third quarter with 14 points. Looks like they could be mounting some momentum, and then the Ravens just score last, finish them off 28-14.
Yeah, basically
really good performance. Yeah.
Basically stepped on their necks. Call of Duty nerd in the chat said, "My favorite team, Ravens all the way." We'll see, man. We'll see. Honestly, I mean,
Yeah.
I can see. Imagine this is a sight for sore eyes, but imagine the Commanders Ravens Super Bowl. I mean, I don't know if I see that in the cards, but that'd be a good battle of the Beltway, or even Pittsburgh and Philly be the Pennsylvania battle.
Yeah.
Well, not Pittsburgh. Never mind. Pittsburgh's out. Just saying, kind of going through it.
Yanked. But yeah, no, amazing rushing attack by the Ravens. If they were to match up with the Commanders in the Super Bowl, that'd be quite the matchup to watch. But
it was a good game earlier in the year.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see Lamar get his first ring because 2 MVPs in, it looks like he could be on his way to a third. Those odds keep shifting. Just an outstanding player, finally putting it all together under the right play caller in the playoffs as well. Gonna be an absolute thriller this weekend. But yeah, Steelers, What do you think the Steelers should do about Mike Tomlin?
Um, I mean, he gets to the playoffs and consistent winning seasons. I mean, he had a rookie moment with his timeouts, I believe, last week or so, with our last stream. But I honestly don't know. I mean, you think consistency? You think with a better quarterback and more weapons, you think they can actually do something? Get somebody outside of Pickens, really. I mean, Mike Williams was there. I think he caught a touchdown pass, but do you really trust him in the long term? He is older.
Older, more injury prone, and George Pickens and Mike Williams do a lot of the same things, and that's kind of what Russell Wilson is built around, but he still can't elevate the team enough to take that next step. But I kind of agree with you with Tomlin. He has that safe floor that you're always wanting. He consistently gets to the playoffs. However, the shortcomings in the playoffs are something to discuss about, because the ultimate goal is always to win that Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Oh, let's not harp on that one too long. I mean, good game by the Ravens. They really blew their socks off, if you really want to say it like that. I wouldn't even really say that game was that close, but I'm gonna go ahead and throw our playoff picture here real quick down here. All right, so take a look at what we got there. Obviously, you already know KC and Houston. Then you got Baltimore and the Bills. Then you got Washington and the Lions and the Rams in Philadelphia. But let's go ahead and hit that Broncos-Bills game real quick. I mean, I'll go ahead and say, the Broncos took an early lead, but that was just about it. I mean, the one touchdown, nice post route by, Troy Franklin, I believe it was, for a 43-yard touchdown pass?
Something like that, yeah.
42, yeah, something like that. But either way, other than that, the Bills took them over. Missed opportunities with a 50-yard field goal miss from McMahon. Oh, not McManus. He's not with the Broncos. Silly me.
Will
Missed field goal.
Lutz.
Yeah, Will Lutz right before halftime to miss that field goal. So, anyways, all third quarter for the Bills and the fourth quarter. I mean, there was really nothing to it. I mean, it was 21-7 at the end, I believe, after that pass to Ty Johnson. And then fourth quarter dominance, Allen with a 55-yard touchdown to Curtis Samuel. I miss Curtis Samuel, man. Curtis Samuel was that good gadget player. You always knew he was going to get something out of nothing. Brandon thinks, oh yeah, Brandon for the Bills. Yeah. Okay.
Heck yeah, Brandon. I love Josh Allen, so just talking about him right now, I mean, he deserves his first MVP in my estimation. He's made the least amount of negative plays all year. He keeps his offense afloat. This is a historic offense from the Bills as well. And like you said, Curtis Samuel torching 3 DBs on the Broncos on his way to the end zone, dismantling that Broncos top defense. Again, just another showing why Buffalo is firmly in position to get at least to the conference championship, even with the tough matchup against the Ravens next week.
Curtis Samuel showing you that age and injuries mean nothing. He can come back and still torch some defenses.
Yep.
So, excuse me, I'm going to make this a little smaller here just so we can actually see everything else. But look. Anyways, Eagles-Packers. Did anybody see this coming? Okay, we got 1.7K likes on the stream. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Brandon, #1 fan. Call of Duty Nerd, Yeah, you guys are great, man. Appreciate y'all. But, let's keep going. Eagles-Packers. After that freaking early kickoff return, that led to a fumble. And the Eagles really just capitalizing. Nothing really much left to say. I mean, Jordan Love had a really bad game himself. He didn't throw a touchdown, just three picks. That game was... Philly's defense dominated. Anyways, I just think the Packers, they came out kind of flat and they weren't ready. The Eagles had them. Yeah.
Yeah, and again, the Eagles defense, want to give full credit to them as well. They're complete at pretty much every position on the football field as far as offense and defense go.
I think
head to toe on defense, yeah.
Yeah, Nakobe Dean is actually out for the rest of the season with a torn pec, I believe, or something like that. Something crazy. I think it was either a knee injury or a pec. But either way, he's out for the season. Like somebody's going to have to step up in his role. See who does it. We'll see who can do it. So, and yeah. Bryce Huff was actually benched. He's not looking to get more playing time. The 3-man rotation that they had versus the Packers, Vic Fangio said he liked it. So, we'll go ahead and see if Bryce Huff gets any more snaps. I think he only had one versus the Packers. And that
Yeah.
was it.
Yeah, and solid rotational player Bryce Huff is, but when your defense is rolling like this, Nolan Smith, Jalen Carter, um, Jordan Davis on the line. I mean, you name it, they have it. Reed Blankenship, C.J. Gardner-Johnson on the back end, Darius Slay, Quinion Mitchell on the boundaries. I mean, just what a defense they do have. They've been wreaking havoc all year, and especially this is Jordan Love's worst game of the year, elbow injury or not. You got to come into this game a little more prepared. And man, this receiver room is really rough for Green Bay, especially with injuries. They had Romeo Dobbs go down in the game. Jaden Reed went down. Christian Watson was already out coming into the game.
Yeah, we're
So
gonna see
don't be
about that one.
shocked. Yeah, don't be shocked if Green Bay makes a big move for one of these free agent wide receivers or goes out and tries to trade for a Tyreek Hill.
That's bold.
Disgruntled Miami.
Yeah. Anywhere would probably be better than Miami right now. I mean, like you said, the game manager with Tua and then Mike McDaniel. You don't know what's gonna go happen. What's gonna go down with him? If that man coaches, that man coaches all right, but his press conferences leave a lot to be desired. That man literally sounds like either sounds like a deer in the headlights or sounds like a freaking kid on crack in college. I don't know, but well, not a kid on crack. A kid freaking blazed out of his mind on that green stuff. But anyways, we'll talk more about the Eagles real quick. You know, they Saquon Barkley had 119 yards, I believe, on 25 carries. You know, another strong rushing performance. Don't want to keep saying another strong rushing performance because 100 yards is usually a lock for this kid. So, sorry, Giants fans. You know, you guys, Joe's showing, you know, crap to bed, and I think John Mara is really having nightmares because of that. But we'll see how they do in this next draft this year, and we'll see. I don't see if anybody can actually muster up the courage to stop Barkley and Hurts' tush push.
Right.
Other than that, them being dominant. Jalen Hurts actually looked kind of rusty. I mean, coming back and after being like 2 weeks, I believe he's been out.
Yeah, I think might have been even longer. That concussion's been bothering him for quite some time.
Yeah, I saw a lot of memes online about him going there looking all dazed and confused. But the probably we'll head to this game real quick because this game was probably the only competitive game of the weekend. Peyton, you already know which one it is. Everyone in the chat, you'll probably know which one it is if y'all watch. If y'all not under a freaking rock. All right, so Commanders versus Bucks. You know, we get the win for the first time in almost 20 years. Versus the same team and the same stadium as 20 years ago. Hell yeah.
Destiny.
Yes, sir. Rookie sensation. Jaden Daniels had a hell of a game. Literally put the team on his back and said, nah, we're not going to rush this ball. I'm going to take this ball. I'm going to fling it down the field. And I'm going to run it myself if I have to because our running backs are not getting the job done. I don't know what we're going to do, but let's just hope next year we can actually get a running back or in the draft or whatever and fortify our line so we can actually start running the ball. This kid can do a lot, but I don't want him to have to keep doing everything. Don't want to risk injury. He's still small, you know. I really don't know. I mean, I know he's been getting into the weight room at 3, 4 in the morning, freaking beating guys like Wagner and Luvu into the locker room, getting there first and being the last to leave. So that man's got some heart. Anyways, let's keep talking about the game right here. We have the game-winning doink from Mr. OCD Gonzalez himself. Man, I'm gonna be real with y'all as a Commanders fan. Back in the regular season, I don't remember which game it was when he kicked for us. He did that hair fluffing thing, and then he ended up missing the kick. So this time he just doinked it off the upright. I mean, a lot of people say it's lucky. Maybe it's part of his game. Maybe he did that. Maybe he had the script. Maybe he knew what he was doing by that.
Maybe he called bank.
Yeah. Baker Mayfield's fumble really set us up to really go ahead and take control of that game. Everybody's saying, oh, the Commanders got lucky they won. They barely beat a bad Bucs team. Look, the Bucs team's not bad. And they got receivers. They got playmakers. Mike Evans was torching Marshawn Lattimore all night. You didn't really hear from him much in the second half, but literally Baker Mayfield, I think he botched a snap on one on a jet sweep. And it was a fumble by Irving, I believe. I'm not entirely. I don't remember.
So
okay,
what happened? snapped the ball. He tried to hand it to Jalen McMillan. He made the dumb decision of keeping both hands on the ball rather than a typical handoff where you're going one hand.
Right.
And what that did was it caused a missed handoff, basically, and it was Baker's fault at the end of the day. So either way, that's what did him in at that point. And how well the Commanders controlled the ball, I think, is the story of this game. They were in control from the jump, it felt like. They controlled the pace of the game, and you knew when Jaden Daniels was getting that ball back on that final drive, he was just going to make something happen, and that is probably the best feeling as a Commanders fan.
Oh hell yeah! I mean, I was always sitting there freaking shaking in my seat. Like I was like, come on, don't. You know, we had some problems on fourth down that night, but now it's I honestly getting chased by who's our top rated? It's not Vita Vea, it's the other guy. The first round
you had
pick.
Yaya Diaby chasing you on the edge. He got a little banged up, and then you had Kalijah Cansey, who was wrecking your guys' interior all night.
Yeah, I couldn't think of the name right off the bat, but Kalijah Cansey literally almost had him down on that last scramble to get that first down. Anyways, everybody's gonna sit there and talk about that game and be like, "Oh, y'all barely won. It was a field goal. We could have probably scored a touchdown if we wanted to." They kneeled the ball out. It was first down if I remember correctly, but they wanted to kneel it out, have no time on the clock, so there was no chance because we've been on the winning side of it, but we also been on the losing side of last second touchdowns. Our prevent defense is garbage. I don't care what year you want to say. The Commanders' prevent defense will let you score.
Yeah. And again, this is the worst team I think that Jaden Daniels is going to have for the next 10 years, and that's a scary thing. I mean, you look at great coaching. I think Dan Quinn has elevated this defensive performance to a new level. You guys don't have a lot of impressive pieces on that defense. However, Dan Quinn has implemented great culture. You have Cliff there calling the offense for you guys, and I believe whoever's the offensive coordinator, Jaden will be able to thrive. You get a secondary receiver. Again, you improve that O-line, and you focus on the back end of that defense, and you're looking at a perennial playoff team for 10 years plus.
I love to hear those words out your mouth, being an analytical guy. But I want to say another couple things. De'Ami Brown and Terry McLaurin had good performances. De'Ami Brown stood out for the first time since week 5. He had 89 yards, career high, and 1 touchdown. He was definitely the number 2 that night. And I feel like this number 2 by committee look that Cliff Kingsbury is putting out there every week. It's getting the job done. Because you want to think about it. Who am I supposed to game plan against? OZ or De'Ami Brown or Luke McCaffrey, even though Luke McCaffrey still hasn't gotten his touchdown, I believe, but he hasn't really gotten involved much. But who am I game planning against every week? Is it Jamison Crowder, OZ? You never know.
Zach Ertz. Yeah,
Zach
exactly.
Ertz too. But other than that, I mean, and that one fumble, quote unquote, I was talking about Bucky Irving. It wasn't a fumble by him. What it was a tackle for a loss, I believe. And it was because they snapped the ball and Baker Mayfield kind of just held it. Like nobody moved. And our guys got there. It looked like our guys jumped off sides. And they probably thought that our guys jumped off sides, but they didn't. They just literally...
the snap timing.
Yeah, the snap timing was off. And they'll say it in the broadcast. You'll hear it. But all right, let's get off of Commanders. I mean, good win for us. Let's hope we can do something against Detroit. But I want to, before we talk about this next game, I got a slideshow to ping y'all to so y'all can take a look at this. Go ahead and take a look at this. To it. All right, guys. I hope y'all like that one. Let's get into this game right here. So we got we got to pull it. Okay, there we go. We're back up. Okay, got to scroll back to it because it messed everything up, but we're good to go. All right, Rams versus Vikings. 27-9 Rams win. Oh my God.
Hey,
You predict
Rams!
Yeah, you predicted it last week, dude. You predicted it last week. It was um the Lions got Darnold figured out and the Rams took a copy. Blitzed them like hell all night long. All
Yeah.
right, dominant
9
defense for the
sacks?
Rams. I was
9 sacks in a playoff game is nutty.
I was kind of hoping they would go for 10, but they didn't get there. I mean, that would have been the record right there, but um rookie linebacker Jared Versa scored his first career touchdown with a 57-year-old, yeah, yard fumble return. Oh yeah. Good offensive coordinates by Stafford. Him being 36 years old, still getting to it. 19 and 27 for 209 and 2 TDs. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Really not.
Matthew Stafford's a dog.
Yeah. Everybody's thinking it's gonna be Rams versus Lions going into the championship game. Stafford versus Golf again, but we'll see. We'll see if Philly and Washington have anything to say about that. And it's crazy that we're in the final, 8 teams, man. Final eight
Yeah,
teams is crazy.
foreign conference. It's huge, yeah. Um, but yeah, I mean, like we were talking about last week with Sam Darnold getting figured out. You see that on full display again. Jared Verse, like you talked about with that long touchdown. I mean, he's a first-time Pro Bowler. It's his first year in the league, and he's been everything and more what they hope for in their only first-round pick on that defense. Chris Shula has led this defense to under 10 points in 5 of the last 6 games. They're really turning it up when it matters, and the offense is starting to click. Again, not much of a running game as far as the Rams go. Kyron didn't have the biggest game. However, they hit shots when they needed to hit shots. Stafford was throwing a beautiful ball all game, and you see Sam Darnold, his play calling and his O-line did him no favors, but it just seemed like he was seeing ghosts out there as well. So,
Seeing ghosts. Bring us back to the Jets days, man. Like, thanks for all the likes in the chat, Brandon. Thanks for coming back. Appreciate it. You were a mainstay. You a real MVP. The GOAT. I'll tell you right there. I hope you like that slideshow, man. You tell me about it later when we play some Fortnite. But, all right. Breaking news we can hit up to. I mean, there's not really much to say other than Sam Darnold got his cage rattled, and the Rams are moving on. So, Kevin O'Connell, what are y'all gonna do now, man? All right. Speaking of which, he wants to sign a contract extension. He loves being a Viking. Or whoa with the love. Thanks, man.
of course. Well,
I might as well get in there myself, huh? How about that?
How about some clicks? How about some clicks?
Some
But
clicks,
yeah,
some clicks.
I think Kevin O'Connell still deserves an extension. Not the best play calling by any means. He didn't dial up easier shots for Sam Darnold as he saw the pressure coming in and really didn't adapt too well to that playoff atmosphere. He's yet to win a playoff game as a coach. A disappointing loss to the Giants last time they were in, and really it's a matter of him getting over that hump, maybe getting the quarterback he's always dreamed of, but situations aren't always going to be perfect. And when the expectations are your favorite twice in the playoffs, you should at least scratch out one of those wins.
Yeah. Next piece of news, Packers GM, he wants to ramp up urgency. It's time we start competing for championships. What the hell were y'all doing this whole time? Come on.
I don't get it at all, and I mean that should be the goal every year.
Yeah, for real. We're literally in year 1 of the recalibration, and we're freaking vying for an NFC Championship spot, depending if we beat the Lions or not.
Yeah.
Well,
so
Bobby Wagner is expected to play versus the Lions. He had an ankle issue this week that was kind of hobbling in practice. No surprises there. Get your start. Bobby Wagner has been a force to be reckoned with, not only in the defense, but also off the field. He's been really mentoring these guys. I think him and Jaden have a really special relationship. They like to clown on each other a lot in post-game interviews, which is great.
Yeah, and I mean, such a great influence for Frankie Luvu, I believe, because that tandem's been really solid all year. So
Freaking love Luvu, man. Frankie love you is what they said on the broadcast. I'm like, that's Luvu. I mean, I'm not gonna get into that here, but somebody's username on Fortnite's, Luvu, and I'm like, your name is love you, not Luvu. Anyways, they try to do like the uwu crap, being like a 10-year-old or whatever, crazy kids. Bears Caleb Williams, once a offensive minded head coach, says it says he got a prank text from Ben Johnson.
yeah, it was kind of funny how it unfolded. He thought it was the real Ben Johnson. Gets on the FaceTime. Oh, come to the Dolphins! The kids say, and he decides to laugh and kind of play it off. But deep down, he really knows he wants Ben Johnson because that's the hottest commodity on the coaching cycle.
Who do you think Ben Johnson goes to? I think we were talking before, and you said Raiders, right?
Yeah, I just think the Raiders opening is too good. He gets to bring in his own GM of choice as well, to pair along with his vision of the offense. You go to an offense that has a good O-line and a star tight end. Just needs that quarterback and that play calling to supplement that. So I think he wants to start fresh. If not the if not, then I think probably the Bears get him and pair him with Caleb. There's
What about
been
the Jets?
Jaguars talks, but I don't think the Jets are a good landing spot for him.
The Jets
I
are
think
barely a good
Aaron
landing
Glenn
spot for
wants to go to
anyone.
the Jets.
Yeah, he does.
That's been the rumor as of late, that the Jets are on the top of his priority list, and then I believe that the Bears would be second. It's kind of hard to tell what his second and third choices would be, but definitely the Jets is his top.
I'm surprised. What was the Jaguars kept Trent Bulk? That man's been passed around more than freaking tampons at a little girl's. Well, not a little girl's, but a teenager's sleepover. But anyways, Trent Bulk is that man needs to stop freaking being a general manager, man. I don't like what he
Yeah.
does. But anyways, the Jags let go of Peterson. Who they really looking at? Like, who's their favorited coach that they want to bring in, or do they even have one? Like, you know how people are tied to certain places.
Of course. I know they've had some interviews and everything. Let me see real quickly, because off the top of my head, it's kind of hard to pinpoint.
They're gonna bring in Mike Shanahan. Watch. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, Todd Monken is actually interviewing. Liam Cohen from the Buccaneers as well. So 2 offensive coordinators from the Buccaneers and then the Ravens. And then I know the Bears completed an interview for Mike McCarthy. The Cowboys are looking at Kellen Moore to possibly be a head coach because he has some familiarity there, right?
Yeah, full circle.
And then some other jobs. Arthur Smith, the Steelers offensive coordinator, got an interview for the Jets head coaching job.
Yeah.
That would be atrocious.
That would be. That just sound. Arthur Smith really wasn't that great when he was with the Falcons either. But I mean, it's neither here nor there. Anybody going to the Jets just sounds crazy. I mean, put John Gruden back on the freaking coaching sidelines and put him over there. John Gruden. Oh man,
he wants to coach so bad.
John Gruden. I think Jay Gruden wants to get back into it too. Honestly, I was listening to one of his podcasts, and he was breaking down Jaden Daniels and the Commanders, and he was also breaking down a couple other teams. He knows ball. He's just not a good head coach.
Yeah.
I mean, plus he had to work with Dan Snyder, Bruce Allen, and the whole Kirk Cousins debacle. I mean, I feel like I'm not gonna say he deserves another shot. I mean, he had 5-6 years, but maybe somebody brings him on as an offensive coordinator. But I mean, there's a lot of other people out there that you could look at. I'm not hearing any Eric Bieniemy chants or anything like that either. So, Chargers head coach Jim Harbaugh says he will have a heart procedure and a hip replacement. Hope he gets well. Hope he gets well. Hope he goes through it. Hope it doesn't take away from any of the fire of his personality or anything like that. And I hope the Chargers come back and get deep into the playoffs next year. Hey, stop covering us, man.
Give me one sec.
There you go.
But yeah, I mean, for Jim Harbaugh and everything, I again wish he gets well, and he did have an episode earlier this year, so just wishing he heals up and everything and get those hips in place. Hips don't lie. So
And Mike Tomlin has no response to outside questions about his job security after playoff exit. It's gonna be like another Marvin Harris. No, not Marvin Harris. Marvin
Marvin
Lewis.
Jones, Marvin
Marvin
Lewis. My bad.
Lewis.
Why am I
Yeah,
saying Marvin Jones? We're saying all the Marvins.
yeah.
Marvin
Put out the
Harrison
right one.
Jr., Starvin Marvin.
Freaking Marvin. I think he's gonna be like another Marvin Lewis on the sidelines for a long time. Just can't get the team there. Who knows? Maybe if Russell Wilson actually played a decent game, maybe if they literally backed into the playoffs as it was. They didn't deserve to be there, in my opinion.
Yeah,
But
that's the unfortunate thing about the playoffs. Sometimes teams just get in and don't deserve to be in.
get in and flop. Now I really see it from us actually coming from a winning standpoint, winning the last few games of our team with the Commanders and all that. Going through and seeing it, like I go back to the 2015, 2016 where we made the playoffs with Kirk Cousins, and we didn't deserve to be there either. We played like crap. I mean, we won our last few games or so. I'm not entirely. I gotta bring that up and see, but when we played against Green Bay, I think Aaron Rodgers started out 1 for 7 for like 4 yards, and then we just could not capitalize, and our defense just let it down. And Aaron Rodgers went down the field and scored time and time again, and we ended up losing big time, I believe, in that game. But anyways, not to talk more about the past here, but you hate to see it. I mean,
Yeah.
I was talking to a buddy and I said, hey, the best thing about it is now the Commanders put two NFC South teams out of the race. So now you guys are both on the couch watching together, Falcons and Falcons and Bucks. So
Holding hands.
yes, sir. Last piece of news that I got here, unless you got anything else, is we already all knew this. I think I said this last week on our last stream. Deion Sanders and Cowboys had mutual interest for the job, but I don't know. I'd like to see Kellen Moore actually get a head coaching role and see what he can do.
Yeah, because
His offense-
he's really relied on the run this year for the Eagles and really adapted to that personnel. I feel like he could do good things as a head coach as well.
Yeah, for sure. The only thing I got to say now, I mean, we really recapped our games. What are you looking forward to for next week or this next upcoming week?
Well, let's go quickly through these games, see what we got on the slate. First one opening up the weekend, Texans at Kansas City, in a game that the Texans, I feel like, are undervalued a tad bit. They've been wrecking good quarterbacks all year for the most part. Jared Goff had 5 interceptions against them. Justin Herbert, you just saw the performance he laid. Josh Allen earlier this year was 9 of 30 against them, and the real only elite performance thus far against the Texans has been by Lamar. So good for Lamar, of course, but looking at a defense that's hyped up more than ever. Bunch of juice on that defensive line, especially. Again, Will Anderson, Danielle Hunter, Aziz Al-Shaair, who occasionally rushes off the edge, and then D'Amico Ryans at the helm. Gonna be a banger game, and I kind of like the Texans plus the 8.
Yeah, Chiefs minus 8.5 on that current line, but you already. I really don't know what to say. Do you think Travis Kelce and the boys step up, for the playoffs? Do you think they get to it and they actually get back to their winning way? I mean, they have been winning, obviously, but do you think this first round bye and extra rest? Do you think they come out? Do you think they start out slow versus a hot, Texans team that really got the pressure on Herbert and really forced the issue last week? And it's gonna be this. It's gonna be the same thing that I asked about the Lions. Like, do these first round buys, like, I know they're beneficial, I know they're helpful as far as injuries concerned, y'all can get right, but then again, are these teams gonna come out and are they gonna play their butts off, or are they gonna start slow and then maybe kick it up later, or maybe not even at all, or they're just gonna act like they just didn't even get off the bus? So
No, and I definitely get that sentiment, and I do see KC maybe not jumping out to a huge deficit, but I definitely think they do start slower, as they typically do in playoff games. But the second half is their bread and butter. And trusting one guy to win me a playoff game, it's going to be Patrick Mahomes every time. He's gotten to the AFC Championship every year he's been in the league, and he's got to the Super Bowl more years than not, which is an insane thing when you take a look at the grand scape of just the league in general. A lot of teams aren't doing this on a regular basis like the Chiefs are, and I think they'll have enough juice. I'm calling Chiefs 20, Texans 13. It's going to be a heavy defensive matchup, but again, the Chiefs squeak it out in the end. How do you feel?
I was thinking. I mean, that's a good starting spot. Starting spot. I was gonna say Chiefs 23, Texans 21. I feel like it's kind of like a little bit of a shootout. I mean, yeah, D'Amico Ryans and that defense, they're gonna be aggressive, but I feel like they're gonna have good options to counter it. Whether Patrick scrambles or they hit running backs out of the flat or little drag routes from their tight ends, anything just to get to beat quick blitzes. And I feel like they're gonna do that early and often. But I feel like it's tit for tat, really. Like you said, the Chiefs in the second quarter, well, the second half, that's their bread and butter. I feel like Texans feel themselves. They get up to 14-0, and then the Chiefs come back. Maybe it would probably be 14-3 at the half, and Chiefs come
Okay.
back. But
Okay, I respect that take. I mean, Chiefs have done it before where they were down
24 nothing.
24
Yeah.
nothing to the Texans and came all the way back. So I like that prediction.
All right, I mean, let me see something real quick. Public is going for KC. Damn, big bet, 89% money line KC.
What about the spread?
The spreads we're looking at 56% for -8, 44% for +8, and then
Okay.
the over unders we're looking over 41.5. Yeah, over 41.5, 77%, 23% for under.
Okay.
I
Fair
mean,
enough.
That's technically my score. It would be over. Yours will be more or less the under, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
But I mean, have it playing out. Chiefs win in the end.
that's a solid take, really. I mean, either or. It could either be one or the other. Can't be both.
Yeah.
All right. Who do you think scores touchdowns in this game if you had to pick anything?
If I'm thinking about how Houston handled the running game last week, I'm going to try to lean away from the KC running backs. Maybe Kareem Hunt stumbles in there because he's going to be used more at the goal line than Isaiah Pacheco, possibly.
Okay.
But really looking at Travis Kelce here, I think, again, he's playoff bred. They're going to have a little bit of a mismatch on him, whether you throw Aziz Al-Shaair on him in coverage, wherever that might be. He's dealing with a little bit of a groin issue. And I just think Kelsey's going to find the end zone. As far as the Texans go, I do think their lone touchdown comes from Nico Collins. He shredded the Chargers last week. He's a matchup nightmare, no matter who you throw on him. And in my opinion, he's a top 5 wide receiver. He's that good.
Yeah, I like him. I liked watching him. I mean, it seems like Bobby Slowick really knows how to use him. I mean, when the Chargers were playing the Texans, it looked like he was sending a lot of like post routes, and he was eating. Seen a couple post routes, a couple big gains.
Yeah,
But
fuck you, Christian Fulton. Fuck you, dumbass woman.
I do want to talk about that one. I know we already talked about the game, but what started it for the Texans with that with CJ Stroud bailing out of that, boarding out of that fumble and just finding them downfield, big gain. I didn't think that was going to be a backbreaking moment, but now looking back on it, it's crazy to say that it was. I thought the Texans were going to. I thought you guys were going to jump on that ball because I think y'all sent heavy pressure. I think didn't Mac hit him, didn't he?
He was in the backfield at the time, and then Puna Ford, I believe, was there as well with Tyir Tart. But
Big fat man.
yeah, we were stuck ball watching. We didn't cover the middle of the field, and that's what switched the energy in the game. And ultimately, again, the Texans took advantage. So
Okay. Well, I think Nico. I think they scored 3 touchdowns, 21 points. So I'm gonna go Joe Mixon for 1. I feel like they get him down close in the goal line. I feel like Nico Collins gets another one. Obviously, there's the top 2. I want to take a look at this. You know what? I want to say not special teams, defense gets a touchdown.
Dang.
Stingley.
Okay. Yeah, Stingley's a dog.
Stingley,
Derek
yeah.
Stingley, top 5 corner this year, probably top 3.
I feel like he picks a screen off of Mahomes. So,
Okay. Fair enough.
on the other side, damn, I really don't even. I really should have did more look into this as far as their actual playmakers on that side of the ball. I know obviously Kelsey,
Hollywood
Hunt,
Brown, DeAndre
Hollywood Brown.
Hopkins, Isaiah Pacheco,
I think
Noah Gray.
I think D Hop could get one. Patrick runs for one. Maybe scrambles real quick, and I don't think Kelsey gets one. I don't.
I just think it's a better matchup than the DeAndre Hopkins on Stingley matchup. That's the only reason why I think so.
Oh yeah, for sure. You think we talked enough about this game, or do you think?
Yeah, let's talk about your Commanders. Let's start it off. Go ahead.
All right,
Commanders Lions.
Yeah, let me pull up these odds real quick just to show you all the staggering amount. I'm putting Commanders money line, just because I believe in the team that much, and I look at this guy's face right here. I'm just saying I believe in the team that much, and I feel like the Lions come out a little flat. I mean, I know Dan Campbell gets them fired up, but at the same time, Jaden Daniels is that man. People talking about he should really be in discussion for the MVP. I mean, if he gets it all the way, why not? Why not him? Right?
Because it's a regular season award, but yes,
Yeah,
I get
true.
your point.
Yeah,
If we're including playoffs, possibly, but
okay,
it's between Josh Allen and Lamar. But I see your point.
So, current is plus 9.5, 54% public bet, 46 on minus 9.5 for Detroit. And so they're taking what you said, plus 9.5, I believe.
Yeah.
Money line is straight 89% Detroit, 11% Commanders. I'm gonna be part of that 11%. Let's go. Let's get our money. And if we don't, we don't. It's whatever. We're just happy to be here. And I feel like this team's really gritted it out when everybody counted them down and out. So we'll see how we play against the Lions. I feel like it'll be a lot closer than a lot of people expect. But if I have to pick, I'm gonna pick Commanders win this one. I mean, I picked Bucks to win last week. I'm gonna pick Commanders win by 3, and I think I said that already in our chat or whatever. But I'm gonna say, and this is probably gonna be crazy, but I'm gonna do 27-24 Commanders. I feel like they don't get over 30. Each offense has to get over 30.
Damn, son.
Where'd you find this? That might be crazy.
$50 wins 195. By the way, on the Commanders money line.
I was only looking to put like 10 or 5, but we'll see. I'm not trying to put my whole freaking car on. That's not bad. See, that's coming away plus, so it's good. I'm gonna say, shoot, I don't know who the. See, this is weird with the Commanders running back room. I don't know. Is it gonna be B-Rob? Are they looking at Chris Rodriguez? Is Jeremy Nichols? I think Austin Eckler takes a screen to the house. I could say that right there. I think Terry McLaurin gets another TD. Jaden Daniels runs for one possibly. That's 3 right there. I mean, I think the rest would just be, 2 field goals to end it out, really. I mean, I'm not going to say it's going to be the end of the game, 2 field goals, but it might come down to the end where it's like 24-24, right? And field goal at the end. I don't think it's going to be no doink or anything like that, but I feel like it's going to be something along those lines where we control the ball to control the clock. And that's why I feel like it's not going to be a high-scoring affair. Crazy scoring affair, at least what everybody else is thinking. They're going to beat the brakes off of us and we're just going to lay down and take it. Like, nah, man. This defense is going to show out a little bit. We may get beat on a couple outside zone runs by, Sonic and Knuckles, but I believe that we can take it. I believe that we can, I don't know. It seems like second half, a lot of the teams like to move away from the run that we face. Even Mike Evans, too. Like, last week, he's not a running back, obviously, but they really stopped targeting him like that in the second half. So
yeah, until the final couple drives, like final drive or so.
Yeah, so I think Eck, Scary Terry, and Jaden Daniels each have a TD. Man, I really would love to see like Luke McCaffrey get his first, but I doubt it. And the same thing with Diami. I think Diami throws another gadget play, but I don't think it goes. I don't think he gets the connection. But I mean, Lions wise, Jared Goff. Maybe I think Jaden Daniels throws a pick here too in this game. I'm just feeling the interception. The same thing with Jared Goff. He throws a pick. Um, I'd say Jameer Gibbs and Monty get a touchdown apiece. I'm not that sold on the run defense, but I feel like we can stop them. But I feel like as they get closer to the goal line, Jameer Gibbs is going to pound it up there. I'm afraid of that man. Probably more afraid of him than Bucky Irving, but I think St. Brown gets one against freaking Lattimore. And I think St. Brown gets trailed by Lattimore and
I
tries to
think
redeem
I
himself.
think I think Sandra still's going to be on Amon-Ra, and
You think so?
yeah, and Lattimore is going to be on JMO. That's my estimation.
Oh, we'll see what
'Cause-
happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. My prediction is a little bit different from yours.
Yeah.
Again, I'm going with the under. I think the clock is controlled a little bit more than what they're laying in the Vegas line.
Yeah,
But
under.
I think it's Lions 30, Commanders 23 in a one-score game. I do think the Lions get the last laugh. I think they can control the clock a little bit better. And I think Amik Robertson plays Terry McLaurin better than Jamel Dean did and better than Antoine Winfield did in backside coverage and cover 2 looks. So I just have a little bit more confidence in the Lions' pedigree in this game. They've just been in a deeper spot that the Commanders have. I think for the future of the franchises, I think the Commanders have a brighter future than the Lions do as far as beyond this year.
Okay.
However, in this game with David Montgomery back, I think that just brings a different element that the Commanders might not be ready for defensively. And again, just a little bit of the matchup problem. Lattimore does not look good right now, and it might be a little bit of a mismatch as far as Sam Laporta getting open looks.
Laporta potty. Let's-
As far as
H-
JMO with deep shots, I just don't feel like there's enough juice there on the back end.
HB in the YouTube chat, appreciate the fire emojis, man. Good to see you. But I respect that take. I really do. I really do. I'm not gonna argue with it. I'm not. Like you said, taking the under. I believe that's fair. 30-23 is a decent and an interesting score. I like that. So, who do you think pops off in this one?
I think David Montgomery is going to have 2 touchdowns. I think they're going to feed him the ball when he's back in this lineup, and I feel like the Lions are going to get good down in distance near the goal line where they're going to utilize him. And then if I had to throw out another touchdown for the Lions, it would probably be Amon-Ra. In all honesty, JMO is always due for a big shot, but I'm going to go Amon-Ra. And then as far as the Commander side goes, I'll say that... trying to think in my head here. I'm going to go a Zach Ertz touchdown and then a Jaden Daniels scramble. We'll go with those.
I keep forgetting about Ertz. I'm sorry, Zach Ertz, but I keep forgetting about you. I'm not going to forget about you when you score touchdowns on Saturday, though, I hope. But anyways, I think you did say Lattimore isn't looking good, and you're right about that one. He's not. I feel like he comes back. He was not 100%, and even Dan Quinn confirmed it. I feel like he comes back this week, and I feel like he gets a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more pressy on their receivers. I feel like he doesn't get torched like he did against Evans, but it's going to be a lot better of a showing for sure, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I feel like Sanders still gets that pick. Sanders still is a freaking dog, man. I love that guy. Definitely building around him on the back end. Yeah,
I wanted him so bad. Yeah, I wanted him as our 2nd round pick if we had another one, but I am totally satisfied with Lad, so no complaints there.
yeah. At least you don't got Emmanuel Forbes on your team.
Yeah, he was inactive for the Rams when I watched that game too. His skinny name on the billboard, crazy.
Oh, I thought he was actually getting some playing time. Is he really just a depth piece at this point, or is he really not that good?
He's not that good. He's too skinny for the NFL and just not, not built for the league. But speaking of the Rams, I mean, moving on to our final 2 games here.
Hey, no Monday
Rams
night
at
games.
Eagles. Yeah, no Monday night games, just
Hell yeah.
Saturday, Sunday. Love playoff football for that. Um, as far as this one goes, I know you have some strong feelings about the Rams. Take it away.
And I think the Rams come away with the win here. Honestly, I'm gonna read you off public bets and public opinion real quick. The plus 66% of people are taking it. All right.
Okay.
Money line 74% for Philadelphia. Obviously, Philadelphia being at home. Hopefully, they don't pelt anybody with snowballs. I don't know if snow's in the forecast. It just finished snowing over here, so, and we're like 20 miles outside of Philly. So, 71% on the over 45, over 44 is the current one right now. I agree with the over. I feel like it's going to be one of those shootout tit for tat games. I don't think it's a defensive game by any stretch. I feel like Saquon Barkley torches the Rams. Sending the blitz and having so many guys up in the box isn't really going to be, a good look versus a Philly team that can run the read option and really spread you out. So, I feel like Barkley could just smash him in the mouth anyways. I hate to say it, being a Commanders fan, Philadelphia, you guys are going to be a problem for a little while Barkley and Hurts remain intact in that backfield. Because even with Tanner McKee and Kenny Pickett, it was 41-7 against the Cowboys. So, I mean, you can't really say that it was all Jalen Hurts doing all the magic. I mean, Hurts is a big part of it, and a lot of people got to fear him running, especially with that freaking 3rd and 1, 4th and 1 play. It's not even like a 3rd and 10 isn't actually a 3rd and 10. It's a 3rd and 8. Because those 2 yards are going to be automatic with that touch push. So I'm going to say real quick, I'm going to go Rams beat Philadelphia, but Saquon Barkley does gash them for 120 yards. I'm going to say Matt Stafford comes back in the end, has a comeback game-winning drive. It's going to be 30-23 Rams.
Damn, you think it's that high scoring?
Yeah.
Okay. I respect it. I have a wildly different take than you on this game.
Go for it.
I think the Eagles take this one. I really like the notion that Saquon is going to get his last time against the Rams. I think he ran for almost 200 yards and 2 touchdowns, breaking 2 long ones away from him. I love the point you brought up about stacking the box against Saquon, something that they don't do because they bring so much pressure. So once that gap is hit, the second level comes soon, and then there goes Saquon. So I do feel like the Eagles just control the line of scrimmage a little more in this game than the Rams would want them to. I think this is a game where it's going to be super close. I like how both defenses are playing coming into the game. I don't like how the Eagles offense really looks, but I think they lean on the run enough to get stuff done. And the back half of that Rams defense is definitely the worst part of it.
Yeah, I feel like they get. I feel like the Eagles look better this week than they did against the Packers. I mean, everybody's saying Jalen Hurts isn't the guy, X, Y, and Z, blah blah blah. I don't need to hear your Philly fan complaints, but let me just say, I will say, just to foreshadow it back to another game. Games aren't always going to be the same. Like, the Eagles played the Rams in the regular season. It could be a totally different turnout. Like Tampa and Washington. They beat us 30-20, 30 to something crazy. Something crazy. I think it was 37-20 week 1. But then we came back and actually made the game competitive. It's a completely different team. And maybe within the few weeks, I feel like it's going to be a different team for Philadelphia and the Rams as well. So maybe we might not see Saquon Barkley run rabid on the Rams. I feel like the Rams may have learned. He still gets a $120 though. Ain't no telling. I'm not telling no lies right there. I feel like he still gets that. But I feel like it's not going to be like 2 fourth quarter touchdowns where he runs rampant and crazy, and the Rams can't come back. I feel like they take care of business. That's why I still stand firm on that 30-23 prediction. But Philadelphia makes it the NFC Championship game, then they deserve to be there. And they're playing 2 decent defense-minded teams, in the Packers and now the Rams. So we'll see how it goes.
20-17, my final score prediction, Eagles Rams. I think it's a low scoring affair. Goes under.
You think Jake Elliott You think Jake Elliott doesn't miss a few field goals or whatever? You think he comes back and kicks that game winner?
I think he can kick two that are within reasonable distance. And I think the Rams at the end of the game with a chance to drive down and get a field goal just can't get it done.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right.
So moving on to our most fun game.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go for it. I'll pull that up right now. Baltimore and Buffalo. Call of Duty nerd, if you're still here, your Ravens and Brandon the Bills. Let's get to it. All right, let's tell you what public opinion means first. Thanks for the likes on the live. We're up to 3,000 now. Keep it up. Appreciate it. Everything y'all do helps us get better. Peyton dancing over there. All right, let's go. All right, so it's pretty close for the spread. It is a +1 for Buffalo. 51% of public opinion agrees. Money line is split straight down the middle, half, 50-50. And then we got the over 57%. I'm going to take the over 51.5. I agree with that. Could we see 230s? Maybe I'd say like 34-30. I'm going to say 34-30 Bills. Bills beat the Ravens.
I love it. I love it. I'm agreeing with you. I'm riding with you. 34-30 Bills.
Hell yeah. So 34-30, taking the over. Definitely taking, I would take Bills money line, because especially with how in high pressure situations how the Ravens perform. They usually get shell shocked and end up getting bounced. I mean, it's usually by the Chiefs, but the Bills are as good as anybody on that side of the conference. So 34-30, Josh Allen throws a touchdown in the fourth quarter to put it away, and Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry can't respond.
Yeah, I like that. I like that prediction a lot. I'm just gonna agree with you on the score. Again, I have a strange feeling. I'm rolling with Buffalo to the Super Bowl. They're my Super Bowl favorite in my eyes.
They've been there 4 times and they lost all of them. Can they get it right this time? And would it be crazy?
Consecutively.
I gotta say something real quick, and I don't want to keep bringing this up because obviously stay professional here, stay unbiased here, but it just reminds me of a lot of these repeats. Bills Redskins Super Bowl where the Bills missed. Not Bills Redskins Super Bowl. Anyway, I think the last Bills Super Bowl where Scott Norwood, it was wide right. And I think the Bills got their behind. Let me see that score real quick. I'm gonna pull that up. Bills Redskins Super Bowl, because imagine it could be a Commanders Bills Super Bowl. That would be two decent teams, really. I mean, who do you see from the NFC side in that game?
I think it's Detroit Buffalo. I think the NFL is gonna try to push that a little bit, but I also think both teams deserve it and deserve to be in. So
yeah, it was 37-24 for the Bills to be defeated by the 1991 Redskins. We went 14-2 that year, and we've gotten the most wins this year since that time. So Detroit Buffalo, I'd love to see it. I just don't want to see KC in the Super Bowl, and honestly, or Philadelphia.
Anybody
Detroit,
but KC and Philly. I'm with you.
all right. Let's have a biased opinion and an unbiased opinion, if you can have one. I mean, I know the Chargers aren't in the playoffs anymore. Rest in peace. They'll get there, and they'll get their Super Bowl. They will. But I'm gonna go biased Super Bowl. I'm gonna say KC Commanders. Unbiased.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I just like that for some reason. I just really do. I feel like KC pulls it out, gets the victories. But Buffalo's as good as anybody to beat anyone, really. But unbiased. Basically just saying, let me not look at either of these teams. I think Commanders, if I'm going unbiased, Commanders get bounced. And I believe Detroit Buffalo does sound appealing. But I'm also thinking Rams versus Kansas City.
Well, think about it this way. With how you pick the games to play out, you have Commanders versus Rams, and you have Bills versus Chiefs.
Yeah,
so pick your winners from those hypotheticals.
If I had to pick a game out of those, if I had to pick the scores, that's next week's ball, man.
no, I know.
Right.
Might not be. We don't know how these games are going to play out. I'm saying
For
in
sure.
hypothetical. So
Okay.
you have your unbiased Super Bowl prediction. Who are you picking between Washington and the Rams?
I think the Rams are more experienced.
Okay,
I
so you
think
got the
get
Rams,
there. Yeah,
and then KC versus Buffalo.
it's a hard one. It really is, because I don't know if seasons past are going to go into factor there. Um, I'd still pick Buffalo. I mean, they deserve it. They deserve it more. I feel like they're going to be more hungry for it. But then at the same time, Kansas City is going to be the first team to try to three-peat. Well, the first team to three-peat if they do win the Super Bowl. But, right? Am I right?
Yeah, no,
All
you're
right.
right.
Yeah. So I feel like the hunger is more on the Bills side, but I feel like it can go either way because Kansas City would definitely have to get that third ring in 3 years. So, but public
Mhm.
opinion, I feel like everybody's gonna be backing the Bills to go to the Super Bowl, just like you. Um, Bills as well. I mean, Rams Bills. Okay, it seems like Rams Bills really tickle my fancy. Where I'm biased.
Ooh, tickle his
Yeah.
fancy, unbiased. I respect it.
But if we're being biased here, I feel like it's gonna be a Commanders Philadelphia NFC Championship game.
Heck yeah, that'd be one for the ages. So
That would be.
again, I wouldn't mind anyone making the Super Bowl from the teams left except Houston. That's the only team I don't want in the Super Bowl. Not
Why?
just because they beat the Chargers. Let's dead that notion right now. I know that's the question you were gonna ask.
That
I
was
don't
the question I was
want
gonna
you
ask.
it, and I'm gonna stick my finger up and say no. Don't ask that. No, I just think it would be the most. I think it would be not boring per se, but just the least entertaining out of any team that's remaining.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. I feel like they get figured out. If honestly, I feel like Kansas City, it's all for naught. Kansas City's taking them out.
Yeah,
But
I agree.
thanks for liking the lives again, Brandon. Really appreciate it. Anybody else who's liking on that live, 3.1K and going strong. Anyways, we're about wrapped up here. I mean, we already spoke about the games. Peyton, you said Detroit Buffalo Super Bowl. If you had to pick any other Super Bowl, any other one, what would you throw out real quick? Out of the remainders.
Give me the best two rushing quarterbacks in the league. Give me Lamar and give me Jaden Daniels. Give me a
Bro.
Baltimore
A Battle of the
Washington
Beltway Super Bowl.
Super Bowl, please.
That would
If-
be good. That would be great. I would like to see that
Make it
again.
happen.
Because the game that we played middle of the season, it was a 30-23 loss to the Ravens. That was a good game, a real good game.
And I think you guys fare better this time. I don't think Zay Flowers is going to be back for the playoffs. So I think you have one less really strong weapon to worry about, and that fares you guys good in a potential matchup.
Yeah, he cut us up. Plus, we didn't have Lattimore yet, so I think St. Juice was getting burned. Toasty juiced. All right.
That'll does it from my side. Is there anything else you want to add, Alex?
Nah, I'm all straight. Anybody in the comments? Y'all got any other takes? What's your Super Bowl predictions? Put them down there if y'all want to see what goes on. I know Brandon said Bills, and the other guy, Call of Duty Nerd, said Ravens. So one of those two teams, I believe, from the AFC gets in. As long as you don't see Philly, and as long as you don't see Kansas City, it's going to be a good as hell Super Bowl. And I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
All right, this has been JDB Sports, y'all. We're about to sign off here. You guys enjoy your weekend of football. We'll be right back here. Maybe we might come back earlier in the week next week or Saturday. But until then, you guys enjoy yourselves. And then again, see y'all later. All right.
Peace.